Right, so there we are, guys. We're on the HMS Wellpower. Chris, what's your last name?
Douglas.
That's our good Captain Chris Douglas on the HMS Wellpower. And we're heading across from Picton to Wellington in support of the protest obviously in Wellington Parliament grounds. Approximately take us about 7 hours to actually get across. And yeah, it's a great looking day. Ship ahoy, as we say. And we'll get there, and by the looks at the developments today at this particular time, heavy work around 5:30 with lots and lots of police outside the Parliament, and the protesters were being quite, there was pushing and shoving going on. People getting very, very sort of like instantaneously, assuming the worst. However, sort of credit to Chantal Baker, kept a very level head. As I always say, I'm not necessarily a fan of their politics, but I haven't got a real problem with what she's actually come up with, because she's done a good job. So she kept very level headed and pointed out that they were just moving the blockades in, and that once the blockades moved in, the police seemed to back off, and things kind of kept calm down. Basically, it looks like, if we look at what's happening in Australia and in Canada, it looks like the response there is they've upgraded against the protesters. So the Five Eyes seem to be acting in coordination. But in this New Zealand stage, it's not, protesters are still being allowed to walk in there. This is not the big push, but obviously what they're trying to do is reduce the numbers. Like they're still allowing access for things like toilets and supplies, so they're not trying to cut supply lines off, but they are at this stage looking like they're upgraded a wee bit, which is the same response that we've seen in Australia. And as I said, in Canada, the police are basically in charge of the Parliament now, and at least the Parliament protest appears to be over, at least from the MSM accounts. We don't have a live direct feed at this particular point, but from the updated reports from things like CNN and the various other sort of Canadian or USA Today and so on, their headlines were basically protests over. So here we are. However, our protest still goes on, and we're off to see the wizard, as they say.